Hey everybody, welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. Today let's talk about housing multiple rabbit bucks in the same colony. When I was first researching about colonies, I fell in love with the idea of letting my rabbits be free from tiny little individual cages. I loved that they would be able to socialize and be in their natural state with other rabbits and not be lonely. To begin with, I was imagining all of my girls and all of my boys living together in harmony in a wonderful colony setup. As I began researching about colonies more, though, I realized that housing multiple intact male rabbits together is very dangerous and often can be deadly. I would hear from many people who were more experienced than I was at the time that adult bucks cannot share the same territory in harmony, that they will fight each other, can often injure each other, and sometimes will kill each other. And while I was never foolhardy enough to consciously attempt to risk housing multiple adult bucks together, I do have some friends who, through an odd bit of circumstance, had two adult bucks living together, and one of them actually did get castrated by the other buck. They told me that both boys were living in complete harmony, there was no fighting, they were best of friends, living with their girls, everything was fine, until one day, one of the boys was bleeding, and just out of the blue, the more dominant buck attacked him, and he was sterile from then on. Thankfully, the injured buck healed from his wounds and was able to live as a pet for a while, but he could have easily gotten an infection or been killed by the other boy. And while I am so grateful I have never had to experience that, I have found myself housing maturing teenager age boys together. You know, the older kids who I'm growing out to butcher. And I have noticed that consistently, as they begin to reach sexual maturity at 3 or 4 or 5 months old, there will often be some dominant bucks who will start instigating fights. Thankfully, I have not dealt with anything major, but I will see some fur pulled around the cage or tractor, indicating that there was a bit of scuffling, or there will be a couple scratches on the nose or ear of a less dominant bunny, but those guys are all butcher babies, and thankfully I was able to either separate them or eat them all before things escalated and got really bad. I apologize for interrupting this enthralling video, but I want to take this opportunity to announce that my handmade crochet dish scrubbies are now on sale. I have been perfecting this pattern for years, and me, my family, our friends and neighbors all rave about these scrubbies. They are the perfect size to fit in your hand, and they are very bendable, so you can easily clean the nooks and crannies of your dishes and cutlery. Because they are made with 100% cotton yarn, they are very durable and will last for years, and it is super easy to clean and reuse them. Each pack includes 7 scrubbies, so you can use one each day. Then at the end of the week, take all your dirty scrubbies, put them in a mesh bag, then stick them in your washer and then in your dryer as usual. Then they are all fresh and clean and ready to be used for the next week. The link to my Etsy store is in the description box below this video if you want to check them out. Alright, now back to the video. And while a perfect utopia of girl and boy rabbits all coexisting together peacefully does sound absolutely wonderful, it does make sense naturally that rabbits would behave in a more ruthless manner. In the animal kingdom, each animal's goal is to live long enough to reproduce, and if you have a rival bunny who is breeding half of your does, and you are stronger or bigger or more aggressive and have the capability of stopping him, then there's no reason why you wouldn't, because then you can breed all the girls and pass your genetics onto them. I believe with wild rabbits, this system of natural selection plays out where the dominant males will rule over the colony or warren, and the lesser males will be just scared off because they are free to roam and range and there are no fences or enclosures. The weaker rabbits can just leave the colony and go off on their own. And I reckon our domestic rabbits would do the same thing if there were no fences or enclosures, but because we are unnaturally keeping them confined to a smaller space, the lesser bucks have nowhere to go, so they get beat up or killed. So if you are contemplating moving your rabbits out of cages and into a colony, please be aware that colony bucks should not live together. While most of the time girl rabbits will get along with each other fine and will get along with boy rabbits fine, the boy rabbits do not, whether they are with girls or just two boys all by themselves. At some point, they will probably begin fighting, and it can turn nasty very quickly, even if so far they are acting like angels. That is what I have learned from my friend's bad experience. Thanks for watching!